Good morning. So I'm off screen today because I want you to be able to see the ocean in the background. And I'm going to be reading a meditation to start our time today. This is a receive moment. This is a moment for us to get attention to any specific or general thing we think we need. But in that, I'd like everybody to remember that sometimes we think we know what our issue is, but it's actually something else. So we want to be a little careful about how specific we get. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But here's an example. Working with a client yesterday, she was talking to me about the end of her marriage and how she had an emotional affair and blaming herself profoundly for that, and how she needed to take accountability. And it isn't that that's not true in some form, but the actual reason for the demise of her marriage had very, very little to do with her emotional affair. So that's an example of how we can think the cause is one thing, but it actually isn't. And in that circumstance, without going into too much detail, that particular situation was much more about people stopping listening to each other or not having the ability to listen any longer and growing apart. So that's an example. I would wish that I was able to play the sound bowl music while I do the meditation, but just one of the challenges of Zoom that it doesn't work well. So I'm not going to fight City Hall here. And welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I love these moments. And after the meditation, we're going to move into, I want to hear from you guys about your experience. And we're going to do a collective chakra balancing because typically when groups come together, there's one or two people working on similar things. And so we'll go about looking at some type of balancing or attunement like that. And then what's going to be really, really fun, I love this so much, is we're going to work the power of eight process at the end, which is nothing short of remarkable. We're not going to have 8 weeks to do it, but there's enough of us that we will do it and it will work and it will be lovely. So we have our hands full today. Um, but let's begin by taking our first full intentional breath because we're going to begin the journey inward, where we are going to consciously relax our body. We're going to take note of any tension, stiffness, and just observing each breath. And with each breath, we wash away any contraction, tension, or anxiety. And let's make the mental note that with each exhale, we become more relaxed and more centered inside ourselves. Big breath in through the nose. And as you feel ready, allow your eyes to close. And bring your attention now behind your eyes, so that the vantage point of your attention, your point of reference, is right behind your eyes. And this is the place of attunement with super ether, that place where our creative process is most pure and potent. And in this, we bring our focus to the center of our head. Allow this position to be where you intentionally sit, looking out at your life, your thoughts, and your feelings with your mind's eye. And from this point of consciousness that is clearer and more attuned to higher wisdom, we become better receivers to those vibrations. Allow your breath to take you deeper inside yourself. And as we think of our body and our essence, consider an inverted pyramid. And that our body is the smallest point of our consciousness, right at the point of that inverted pyramid. And the remainder of the pyramid is all the way we can expand into ourselves and into consciousness itself. And it's limitless. And in that limitlessness is where we can expand ourselves indefinitely. And today, as we expand, we become more and more relaxed, letting go, allowing our higher wisdom to call us into itself, our most expansive self. And as a group, we begin to join hands and hearts energetically in safety and in joy. As we do this, we notice how good it feels to just let go and stop giving our attention to busyness, to tasks and concerns, watching our breath, admiring our system and its ability to serve us in and out, allowing the breath to carry our concerns out of the body and mind, letting them fall away. And in this moment, we begin to separate our beingness, our essence, from our thoughts and our personality. And we begin to simply watch the thoughts, the emotions, and concerns as a silent observer, like just watching a ticker tape and even being amused at some of the things we think and feel. And now, put your attention on the top of your head, on the right side of your head. Just put your attention there and begin to extend your energy, your awareness, all the way to the ceiling of wherever you are, all the way out to the walls, the sides of the walls in whatever room you're in. Just allow your awareness to expand on the right side of your head, all the way out. See your energy overtaking the right side of the room, from the top of your head to the top of the ceiling, to the top of the walls, all the way to the floor. And sit here in this expansion for a moment, all the way out on the right side. Feel that power you have to merge into your fullness. And now I want you to turn your attention to the left side of your head, repeating the exercise we did on the right, but now to the left. And from your awareness in the center of your head, expand your energy to the ceiling and all the way out to the walls, all the way down to the floor. Filling up the room with your essence and your energy, And in this space, notice now. You have all your energy from the top of your head on both sides of you, filling up the room. Now let's sit here for a moment, feeling the expansiveness of our awareness. Filling up the entire realm. And as we go inside and witness this, we're really connecting fully with our true nature, our essence, our higher wisdom to the core of who we are. And we all notice how much quieter it is inside. We notice the noise, the buzzing goes away from our day to day and our moment to moment as we separate and create distance from the external. And this process energizes our core being and causes us to become receivers. Absent this practice, receiving is challenging. But in these moments, the superfluous thoughts, beings, beliefs, and activities just fall away. We recognize that our experiences make us who we are, and they serve us. We want to make sure they serve us and we not them. So today, we say, I am grateful for who I am today. I honor each piece of the life I have because it is divine food. So now consider where you are in your life today, Saturday, July 29th, 2023. What is in your heart's desire to receive? And recognize you have the power to expand any vibration of discomfort into something better. Even if it is to take a feeling of discomfort at level 10 to a discomfort to a level 7. That's better. As we progress now, I'm going to begin sending you healing energy to each and every one of you today. And this energy will assist you in your process. And with your mind's eye or with the use of your hands to understand the receiving process or a vision of your heart opening or all of the above. See it as a door or a window opening, like when we let in the fresh air. Allow this healing energy into your being, into your awareness. And I'm beginning to send it to you right now. And just smile and say, come on in. And as we do this, let's vibrate at the state of appreciation for simply being alive. And acknowledging our innate divinity and the divinity in this moment as we activate the most powerful essence in the universe. Now, as we turn our attention to receiving that thing we came here today to receive. Let's remember, there is a significant difference vibrationally between receiving and asking for and wanting. In desire and asking, there is intention. In wanting, there is the idea of lack or an absence of something. Desire states, I claim something of interest for myself, and I claim it as my divine birthright. In wanting, we say, something in my life is not enough. And when we create from a place of not enough, that will be the foundation of our creative process. Let's break it down even more. If you want a relationship, define it with a feeling. See yourself interacting in the manner, the situation you wish to be in. See yourself receiving affection, the attention you desire. Feel what it feels like. In these moments, you are an Oscar-winning actor in your life. Act as if you already have that relationship. If that's difficult, imagine a time you did have it and transfer the essence of that moment into your now. If you've never had a relationship, consider an animal that you love, or an actor in a movie who portrayed a role of someone you see yourself emulating, an interaction that you loved, and mirror that energy and bring it into your being as if it were yours now, this minute, today, July 29th, 2023. Because when we do this, act as if this is the energy of the superconscious. So we're not actually pretending. And in this practice is the key to manifesting what you desire. It has everything to do with vibrational alignment. Often we spend our energy and thoughts in the observation of our uncomfortable now moments or our past subconscious autopilot. We are not in intention. But what it takes to manifest and receive our desires is to invest in the superconscious. And we fuel the vision of enjoyment and the experience of fulfillment as if it were now, and allow that consciousness to draw to it exactly what we want. Now, if you're looking for a job, see yourself in a role with as much detail as possible, performing the activities you want to perform, collecting the compensation you want to receive, anything related to satisfaction in the workplace. If it is health considerations, there are two parts. One is to see yourself well, living and behaving and functioning as you wish to be, as if it were now. See as many details and feel as many emotions around it as you can. If you are bedridden and want to dance or run, see yourself doing that. Feel it. And even if you can only remember doing that when you were 10, remember it now. Because if your patterns are entrenched, it's not a one and done. But again, you can take a 10 to a 7 or a 5. And in this, you create space for insight, information, opportunities to help you on your path. Live in the superconscious. This is the path. If money is your issue, become grateful for everything you have in this moment. Gratitude is your job. Do not ask to solve a problem you do not know how to solve. Rather, ask to be shown something you do not know. The problem as you see it with your conscious or subconscious mind may not be the problem. So jump into the superconscious and see the wealth and ease that comes with money and know an answer exists. You don't have to know what the answer is. See yourself having access to all the experiences you want to have and the investments you want to make real and their subsequent impact on your life. Feel the success you're trying to achieve. Feel your bank account fuller than you've ever felt it. Feel the satisfaction and the ease abundance brings. Feel the value of your contributions. Feel the respect of your peers. Feel your own confidence in your ability to create. Win an Oscar today in your own imagination, because this is a powerful tool in this energetic creative process. And consciousness expands or responds to what we put into it. And our observations are critical. And of course, quantum physics proved our observations impact tangible matter. So take your power, take it. Impact tangible matter on purpose, intentionally, and with confidence. There is no better gift you can give yourself than to learn how to work with the superconscious. If you're looking to find your way and you don't know what you want, perhaps you've lost your way. You don't know what makes you happy. You don't know what your goal is. And perhaps the adventure is to find yourself, a journey into yourself. What does it feel like if you were to connect to yourself? Imagine people you know who are confident and assured and mirror their energy. Remember a time in your life you knew you were on course. Remember that feeling. Bring it forward to this moment, amplify it, and own it. The work of receiving is to align vibrationally with that which already exists in consciousness, to allow it in. And we do that by creating consistencies in the vibrations we hold. So now, take a few minutes to sit in superconscious, your imagination, the energy that is essential for manifesting your dreams and desires expeditiously. So let's do this for a moment. Hmm. I love me some Stephen Halpern. Okay, so now put your attention back to the center of your head. Begin to notice the room around you if you're not already there. And bring the energy of your superconscious imaginations with you. They belong to you. It's part of you. It's your divine birthright to have that energy be part of your experience. Become aware of your breath, your body, start to move your feet and your legs and around, shake it up a little bit, and then open your eyes when you feel ready. And now, I want to hear from you guys. And there's two specific things I want to hear from you. One, why you're here today. What do you want? What did you hope would happen? What's on your heart? What did you want to have some healing energy toward? And number two, how was that experience for you? What happened? Did the lights go on or not? Those are the two things I want to know. Not that you can't say something else, but you know me, I'm here to give you something. I want to make sure you get it. Okay, that's done. So whoever wants to go first can, and I'm just leaving my face a little bit out of the picture so you can look at the ocean today. Florence. Yes. Are you unmuted? Go for it, girl.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, love.
Thank you. That was so intense. The balls, I'm like numb in my upper body, honestly, and my head is like like I'm after a hangover. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but why am I here? Don't we love all these tools? And yes, they help us inch us closer to what we're asking and looking for. For me, if I can find out and learn what I know is a tool to help me. Like, okay, for instance, I'm being told you are abundance. Okay, manifest it. How? I express abundance with everything around me. I'm grateful. I am working on everything I know to raise my vibration and keep it steady to a level where I know I can receive what I'm looking for. But probably I'm not doing it right, or maybe there is a pact that I should be still in this rut because I see things coming my way, dangling like a carrot. When I am to grab it, poof, disappears. And it's taking me into a cycle like I'm tired to rinse and repeat with no result.
Well, there's a lot that you just said that is rich with part of your story, my love.
Yeah.
And even your description indicates that you're not quite in trust and you worry a lot. And there's a lot of anxiousness around it. And I think we all have points of view about what abundance is and what it should look like. Mm-hmm. But part of the trick is knowing that whatever we are in, I don't care if you're in bankruptcy, you have to know that that is abundance. You have to know to the core of your toenails that that is working for you in your life, and be at peace with that and trust. And that's a hard one. And so for you and many of us, it is, how do I appreciate this as if this is the abundance? Because we have an idea that abundance, I am abundant when that money comes. I am abundant when that job offer comes. I am abundant when that I will be feeling abundant and pleased when that happens. We got to get pleased first. That's the whole super conscious piece. I gotta be there now. And then the thing attracts to our now moment. But because we all have these, you're not alone. These patterns that go into the subconscious, and I'm not speaking Freudianly, but this whole consciousness from the past that's wounded and pushed on us, it draws us into it. It's easy, it's autopilot. And so when we've had these injuries, they do pull us back in relatively quickly because we've been traumatized, et cetera, et cetera. So the work in your moment right now, whether it's a job you're looking for or the money that you want, you have to say what is happening is exactly where I need to be right now, and I am content. And the way I've described this so many times in my own life, and you're not me and I'm not you, but when I had my moments where I was feeling lack, I worked to surrender and get out of it, meaning I would just say, universe, do your worst. I am not going to feel anxious, worried, or upset one more second, full stop. And I worked that energy in myself until I got there. Sometimes it would take 30 minutes, sometimes it would take 3 days. But that was the journey. And what I learned from that process of staying with it until I cracked it was that ordinarily, as soon as I cracked it and I went into surrender and this is my life, I accept, it's wonderful. Shortly, usually with me, is I've always have a 48-hour cycle. Whatever I wanted showed up in abundance. Maybe I would needed $500, I would get 6,000. I mean, it's just the wildest thing. And I think once you get results with that practice, it's much easier to do it. But your anxiety is a thing. So what are you doing about the anxiety piece, the worry piece?
Well, I'm giving a little detail so the group will benefit of the process. I always got jobs that the new one was higher paid than the one before. However, it came in choppy. A year contract, then 3 months of agony. And then, like this contract, 3 months, anxiety, contract, or a more solid job. And then out of nowhere, in 6 months, layoffs where I'm at. So when I'm a single income family, so I depend on myself and the income I produce. And I'm used to this very unpleasant situation to be, but this time, for the first time, I'm following what you say, Phyllis. I'm relaxed, more relaxed than before, and the savings I have give me that feeling of, okay, you're gonna make it until the new job comes. Something came, and once I did that last week, something came to plug in a little bit of income, but still. So I said, oh, I'm liking that. I'm in this energy. I brought it in. It's not what I want to have, but at least I'm above where I've been to be anxious at the level I used to be.
Well, what you're describing, you're making progress.
Mm-hmm.
You are making progress. And every time we elevate ourselves, and you're going to create something different and more suited to where you are vibrationally. Mm-hmm. I mean, and our mind says, I need this job, I need this income, it needs to look like that, and anything less than that, it means it's falling short. So it's really important that we say, whatever I'm supposed to have, let it be. And that's because your mind is too strong. You
Yeah.
have a powerful mind, which is a gift and a curse. So you have to be able to trick your mind and say, whatever is best for me, because you think you know what's best and you may not. I may not. I mean, that's something that happens to all of us. So that's another level of surrender and saying, well, I want this job that pays me 125,000 a year. And if I don't get that, then this and that, and then all these other things are going to happen. I mean, really, that's the way it goes. So we don't even want to get that dialogue started. We want to go, okay, I'm just going to surrender to God's will. And I'm going to just work on my vibration. I'm not going to even, and then from the vibrational place of abundance and trust and do your will, divinity, and working on vibration, let that organize and drive your life. This is ultimately the answer. And I would be careful about trying to manifest when we're not in a flow of energy. If we're like, oh my God, or you're having a bad moment, that's not the time to press send on a resume. The time, the time to press send on a resume is when you're like, this is fantastic. I'm having a great day. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyhow, these are just little tricks of the trade I'm sharing with you. But I think your mind, Florence, my love, you got too strong of a mind. And you're a passionate woman to boot. So your emotions, you're incredibly passionate, and your emotions feed that mind. And so when you're on target, wow. When you're not on target, oops, then we can, I mean, I've done it. I've gone down the wrong road 600 miles, and then I have to backtrack 600 miles before I can go in the proper direction. I've done it as well. So, but I think you're much closer than you think you are. But I would encourage you just to keep working the consciousness that you're working with. And if you're not feeling how you want to feel, that's all you need to be paying attention to. How do I get myself feeling good? How do I get myself feeling relaxed? How do I get myself feeling abundant? How do I trust that this is where I'm supposed to be and just let it flow? How do I do that? Are you hating my answer right now?
No, it's the how that I think I thought I have it.
Well, but here's the thing. We never stay in the same place. What worked for me 5 years ago doesn't work for me now. It worked for me then, because we keep changing, we keep evolving. And so we don't ever get to stop that process of refinement and working the energy pattern. And especially if we want something that's improved from what we used to have. You know, some of those jobs that you've had in the past, you don't want a repeat of those, right? Some of those working conditions, you don't want a repeat of those. You don't want a job necessarily that ends, perhaps. Maybe you're manifesting something that isn't going to end. And sometimes the gestation periods on those are different. But it's alignment.
Yeah.
And I know, yeah, when we're in it, it can feel it's the most challenge, but this is the work. It's the focus and the concentration and the mastery of our own consciousness and our own being. I mean, that is really it. And then once we get there and we can live in it as much as possible, things do get easier in a way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is that helpful? You think you have something to take with you?
Yeah. That did the trick a little bit to be aware how to push me back up, even if it's a little teensy minty.
That's good. I like teensy weensy. I like teensy weensy. I will take it. And let's hold this moment, my love, when we do the Power of Eight piece, and as a group, we're helping one another. That's some badass shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
That's the real deal. That's going to be cool. So hang on.
Yeah.
We're not done cooking your goose, so to speak.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, love.
Thank you.
All right. And anyone else want to share your two?
Go ahead, Roberta.
Barry is always a consummate gentleman. He said, "Go ahead, Roberta," because he saw your hand. You're muted, Roberta. You want me to unmute you? There we go. Ask you to unmute. Still muted.
Okay.
There
It's
you go.
okay, Barry, you go ahead.
Oh,
Because
come
I
on.
don't
This
even
is this.
remember
You
what
do
the
it. No, I
question
do it.
is.
You do it. No, I do it. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? No, where do you want to go?
Yes.
You're up, girl. Tell me your two, my love.
Okay. What was the question again?
I know. Why are you here? What
Oh, yeah.
caused you to be here? And what did you get from that experience activating your superconscious?
Okay. I'm here for actually threefold reasons. Okay, so everything was relatively well for me in my health. And all of a sudden, in the last month, things have gone kaplooey. I my doctor found lumps in my breast. While I was, the other thing I've been trying to manifest for a while, for over more like 2 years, is finding a new house to move in where I was going to live. And then, so while I'm doing that, I reached underneath in the back seat of the car and pulled my rotator cuff. I tore my rotator cuff. It's just insane. 2 weeks ago, and I haven't been able to really. I have an appointment this week with the. It's just been a horrible mess. It's just been a journey
I'm
that
sorry.
hasn't been fun.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm sort of like just crazed right now because I was only working on this couple of things, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I have to heal. And so I really don't think I have breast cancer.
I don't either.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because I just have lumpy breasts. That's what it is. And they did something called a.
There's got to be a country music song in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I had this like over 20 years ago. I had what they call a core biopsy, and then they do this horrible thing, and then you figure out, okay, I'm fine, and then they put a pin in you or something so they can locate the location. I don't know if you guys know that, but interesting information.
Interesting.
But okay, so I just did that on Friday again and on the other side, but it's much different, 20, 25 years later.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just much easier and everything's better. So, okay, so but my arm is hurting me every day. And I go this week to see the orthopedic guy, and it's been 2 weeks to get the appointment.
Yeah. Couple things. I sent you Empowered Healer, didn't I? The files.
Oh, I think you did, but I forgot about it.
I'm gonna remind you that there's some good stuff in there. I mean, I recorded the book. I have her permission to do that, Susan.
Right.
Such a fabulous.
Right. I think you sent me some of the files, but I don't think you sent
Oh,
me.
I've got all of them. So I'll send them
Okay.
again. I might not have had recorded all of them by the time, I think the last time we spoke, but I'll send
Right.
again today, and just so I know you have them. But I
Thank you.
would do that because you're falling under the category of what you think your problem isn't your problem.
Uh-huh.
So, and I think a lot of it is lying within your home search.
Uh-huh.
And granted, you're in the Bay Area, and anybody who knows the Bay Area knows it's like one of the most expensive places on the entire planet. And so when you go to find a house, I mean, there's a lot of things to manage, but it goes far beyond price for you. I think that there's just so many attachments and ideas and qualifications and considerations that I think you interrupt your process. And I think you have been ready to go for some time. And sometimes when we don't get up and go when we're called and we keep qualifying or over qualifying and not allowing the flow of energy to carry us, and we think, oh no, I need to really think about all these. And I think, again, I have so many clients with strong minds. I don't know what that's about, but you have one as well, and it sort of gets in your way. So I would say that the way you're approaching getting a new place to live is not serving you in a way. It's interrupting your process and causing a backup of energy. And I'm not telling you you've caused these lumps to occur or this, that, or the other, but energy needs to go somewhere. It needs to manifest itself somewhere. So,
Well, I have
yeah.
issues with family, and I think that caused the breast problem.
Mhm.
With,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, and of course, as we age, I mean,
Yeah.
the body's going to teach us some things.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
because we're not stopping growing. And it's, I was listening to somebody the other day saying the reason why we exercise and work out when we're young is so we can cope with what happens to us when we're older. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. In
Yeah.
a way. And when I'm looking at your system, you still have an enormous amount of rejuvenatory energy. You just don't feel like it right this minute because you're overwhelmed.
Right.
There's a lot going on. But do you have a particular question? Because certainly when we get to the power of 8 portion, when this entire group sends you energy that's going to be useful to you, but is there a specific question you have in this moment?
Like,
That you feel like you don't have your answer to?
well, where I should actually live.
Not where you are.
Yeah, I know, not where I am. Yeah, I know. No, I mean, no, I mean,
Well, I think that in many ways, your mind is talking you out of things. And whether or not I mean, you have a partner, right? Rick is his name.
yes, I
Right? Well,
do. Yeah.
so I think it's more about just taking the journey, choosing a spot and knowing it's not going to feel like where you feel now,
Uh-huh.
and be welcome to those uncertainties and the complications that are going to arise, because that is part of it. And this is why most people do not make change. They're more comfortable with the uncomfortable known quantity than the discomfort of the unknown quantity. They just don't. I know how to deal with this mess over here. I don't know how to deal with this mess over here.
Right.
And so it's really a question of courage.
I'm afraid I'm going to be lonely there. Then I'm not going to meet people. And
Well, there you go. There's the monkey mind.
yeah,
That's the subconscious as well as some of the conscious mind, but it's not the super conscious mind. What you
right.
want to be doing is sitting in that. When I get there, it doesn't really matter what's going to happen. I'm going to be so happy I made this choice in my life, and the people who I meet are going to make me feel more enriched than ever before. I will have wished I made this move 15 years ago, and this is the place of my dreams, and I can't wait to have all my friends over, and what an exciting, amazing time this is in my life. I love this house. I love my community. I have more friends than I ever thought I would have. I have 12 ukulele groups, and where I am now, I only have one. This is the energy you need to sit in. And as long as we're in this qualification problem, oh my God, this could happen and that could happen, and that's going to be. And so that's the battle you're having right now. And this is the whole exercise today of remembering we got to be in the superconscious. And when we have a body of experiences, it has a consciousness of its own, and it's really easy for us to get sucked in to that and get in a rut, and we can't get up and out.
Right.
And you're sort of victim of that at this moment. Yeah. You don't have
right.
to be. I know you have what it takes.
Yeah, I do.
And isn't it so much more fun? And we think, well, I have to be realistic. I wouldn't. Don't be realistic. Realistic is not your friend.
Okay.
You know how to take care of things. This is why I would say to myself, universe, do your worst. Because I know I can do whatever I need to do to function in my life. I can do it. I made it to a certain age. All right. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I can get tasks done. So I'm not going to even worry about that anymore. What I'm going to do is sit in super conscious energy and play. and remember what it was like to be 5 and imagine. Why is imagination so important to children? And overstructuring is not good. We need imagination. We need that. We don't have it. It's like I don't know if you're on my Facebook or not, but I posted this thing yesterday about as long as you have dreams and aspirations, you're not old. And as soon as you start not having things that really have prana in them, like this is exciting, yes.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking I'm going to move and then I'm going to do this, and it keeps me from doing it.
So you move. You gotta just, I'm not saying just move. You do have to find a place, but I think it's all the other elements of fear that are slowing you down.
Okay.
And if you don't make the decision based upon your fears, but on the superconscious, there are so many people at my house every day. Oh my gosh, do I have to cook dinner again? No, let's have a potluck, friends. Bring your ukuleles. Oh my gosh, could you leave your kids home next time? There's just too many people at my home. Oh my gosh, and my partner has so many friends, and I never knew I would have this much community. And gosh, my food bill has gone up. Everybody's in my refrigerator every day. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. I wish I would have done this 10. There's where you want to live.
Right. Thank you.
I know you got to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
This is where we need to live. And this is why everybody fragments their results, because we are dealing with the past and it keeps sucking us in. I must be realistic. Yeah. So I would, again, we're working the consciousness. Why? Because consciousness itself is what creates the energy, and energy is what creates the tangible. And this is why I wrote an entire book, The Energy Game. And it's so hard to get because we have our well-meaning friends, we have family, we have culture who's telling us what is true, and they're full of crap. It's just not. What's true is energy. And so I just want you to keep working on that, because the more stopped energy we have, the more accidents and problems we have. Most often when people get in car accidents, I get a call, I get an email, I just got in a car accident, it's terrible. Well, you're out of sync with your environment, and that's usually the energetic conflict that's happening. Now, and when you talk about your rotator cuff, I'm like, oh, conflict. I can just feel that happening. It's not your fault. I'm not blaming. Oh, you're bad, Roberta. Well, you should get into super conscious. I'm going to put you in the corner. It's not that.
Right.
It's that the energy bottles up, and eventually we're going to bump into something.
Right. Well, Rick and I were arguing about,
Oh,
we were out looking at houses, and I wanted to make him happy. So I was reaching under the seat to get the apples that he brought, because he loves apples. And I thought, oh, and it's just what I do. I overdo and then I hurt myself. It's really weird.
yeah. Well, I think we overdo. We're trying to make ourselves happy. We're thinking we're doing the right thing. We're trying to be a good person. We're trying to we think it's going to make us happy, but it won't. What actually makes us happy is getting what we want. We know we can learn a lot from misery and uncomfortable things, but we can learn a lot more from getting what we want. It just works so much better. It's just like if I yell at my son, "You're so disrespectful, and why do you always take everything for granted?" Yeah, deaf ears. Man, you did such a great job today on this, that, or the other. Beaming, and then he wants to talk all day long, and like, we're no different as adults. So super conscious.
Okay.
Get the fears. And I know it's a biggie. It's a biggie. And we do need to move forward despite our fears. We don't want to scare the holy crap out of ourselves. But if you can get congruent with your fear, and I call it putting my pieces on the table. Just know where your pieces are. Right now, you're a little bit driving blindfolded. You want to wake up a little bit, put your pieces in front of you. Okay, here's the fear. Here's my conditioning. Here's the habits I have in place. And here's what I want. And how do I get what I want to be the biggest piece on my chessboard? How do I make that happen? Right? So.
Okay, thank you.
Anyhow, and I don't feel good about your lumps, but I'm happy they don't feel cancerous. And I do feel like, well, the rotator cuffs are tough, but you'll figure it out. And then if that's what we're going to work on today in Power of 8, we'll get some healing energy towards that as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, love. Who's next? Hmm? Barry, never contrary.
Thank you.
It's true. All right, what's your two things?
Two things. Oh my God.
Why you're here and how the
Um,
meditation was for you.
I love the meditation. Um,
Good.
it's hard for me to bring it down to a certain extent, but I certainly had my head all over the inside of the room.
Wonderful.
So
Isn't that great? Just reminds us that we can keep expanding ourselves. We could go even further.
um, it's I want to be happy, and in that happiness and joy, I want to be secure. I am abundant beyond belief in my life. I sit in the midst of so much stuff that I've created over the years. So I can't say I need abundance because man, do I have it. Do I have financial security? No, at this point. And for me, that is part of the stress that's creating a lot of tiredness and energy loss. And so financial security and unending and independence is
So tell me what financial security means to you.
literally being able to go where I want, live where I want, when I want, and how I want, be able to give as much as I can to anybody I want. To literally
Well, is there a certain quality of life apparently you're looking for because you have that freedom now?
no, I don't.
See, there's the rub. There's the
Um,
rub.
and I'm going in the hole every month. So
Well, here's what I'm going to get to, and you're going to hate this answer, but I know you love me, so you'll put up with it. So security doesn't come externally. And we have to get that on a deep, deep level. We have to know that security does not ever come from what we have, ever, never will. And I think for some of us, the most we can hope for is that we can create what we want, what we need, when we need it. That's abundance, to be able to create what you want when you need it and know you can. And that is security, because that demonstrates relationship to greater reality. But you have a lot of abundance in various ways, but I do hear you negate your own process. I do hear you sink your own tank. And so on one hand, you're having all these thoughts and vibrations of abundance, but then you welcome in the negation of those said vibrations. We have to have them all going the same direction. It's like you have a tug of war happening. Yes, here's the abundance, but no, there isn't. Here there is, no, there isn't. And so if we're in a deficit, sometimes that means we're not appreciating what we have, or we're squandering in some way how we think about what we have. Or when money comes in, we're not as thoughtful about it. I have a great article in Eden coming out about this topic, and I was thinking about Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank guy, 4-time billionaire. I remember him saying this, and I often think of this in my own way, that his money is like soldiers. I'm sending my soldiers out to do my bidding. And I'm very careful about my soldier. Those are my troop. They're doing battle for me. I need to make sure I'm caring for them and how I'm positioning my money. I mean, so there's sort of a practicality that goes into how I am sending my money out to do my bidding. And so that's one piece, to look at. Or like Susie Orman always said back in the day, treat money like a cherished friend. And most of us don't. We have such a conflicted relationship to money and a love-hate relationship with it. And so we really have to have some great, loyal, and credible feelings with the money that we do have. And so if you're going in a deficit each month, that's ultimately a deficit in what you think is true and how you're relating to the idea of security itself, and potentially how you're managing the money you do have. Like, even when you spend it, are you fearful about it? Or do you, when the bill comes in, do you say, oh, this is great, I have the money to pay it? Or are you like, oh my God, here it is? Yeah, it's in the devil in the details for you is going to be in the details, because you're doing a lot of things correct, but the things that are really still getting under your craw are going to be in these details.
Well,
So,
I've got issues of codependence on money coming in. You know, if it
explain that.
wasn't,
Give me an example of that.
My role at the center where I work has changed, and I think my time there is ending. But I still do the janitor work or the custodial work just to keep the amount of money that comes in a week. I have
So you're
roommates
a
that,
slave, basically.
huh?
Well, you're a nice, well, look at, you have other gifts and talents you're not
I have
charging money
I have
for.
I have roommates that, you know, I have to have because the rent is gone.
Okay, but here you go. There's a detail. I have
My
to have, or I
brother's given me
choose to
money
have.
in the past
Okay,
several months out of the
wait.
blue, and that's
I'm
still
not
not
going to
enough.
let you repeat the story that's reinforcing the very problem you're having. So bear with my aggressiveness for this moment. Okay. You say, I have to. You don't. You choose to. And the second we choose, as opposed to have to, we take our power back. Why am I? And then we can go into why am I choosing that? But you want to be in power with what you're saying, not in have to. So, and then we can say, I'm going to move these pieces around. And I can see there's a core, there's sort of a, when I see a similarity between you and Roberta in terms of fear factor coming forward. You know, am I going to be all right? What's going to happen to me if I don't do X, Y, or Z? And that's where the details for you are critical to work your way out of that. That you have to, you don't, but you have conditioned yourself to believe you have to, and you've created a life around that circumstance. And so it's that example I said, I've gone down the road 600 miles the wrong direction. I still got to go back to that 600 miles. But if you come at it from empowered, you're going to get to where you're trying to go much more quickly. And to this other point I want to make to you before you feedback on me is that you have a lot of talents and gifts you are not charging for. You have other talents and gifts, and you have not exercised that piece in a monetary way. And there's a whole nother can of worms that goes with that. But often when people struggle with money, that's the first thing I say. What do you have to give you are not giving? And when you're giving yourself in a way that you know is not productive for you, or it traps you in some way, that's not a high prana. And so again, Barry, my love, I love you. The devil for you is going to be in these details and facing them down and making no excuses about it. All right, I punched you in the face 4 times, so now you're allowed to give me feedback.
Well, that's what the Power of 8 is about. I need help. I'm not in this lifetime, and I know I've had other lifetimes. I've been incredibly friggin' rich. You've told me that in a session. You know, I've been a healer. I've been jailed for being a healer. And what I want in this life is to extend those healing gifts in life as a living being in that.
So the
And
biggest question you have to ask yourself is, why am I not using and charging for my gifts and talents?
I also want to know what is not mine, that I've been programmed in certain ways in my life to believe, and I want to end that. We all do. We all been programmed from the moment our parents started thinking, and talking to us.
Well, you didn't answer
people
my
talk to
question
us.
though. You got to answer my question. You're a politician. So the
I want
question,
to be able to charge for something
but the
when I
question
know
isn't
it's
that I
giving me
want to.
joy.
Okay, remember what we said about want?
Mhm.
It's inherently grounded in lack. It's not I want to. I am either going to or I'm not going to. And the question for you that's the thread that's running through this entire conversation that you need or want to get real, or maybe you don't want to get real with it, but it is good. If you can crack this one, it's going to unlock everything else for you. It's like, why are you not charging for your services? I know you're a coach because I trained you.
I know.
I know you're
And
a
I'm
healer
good.
and you're good and you're a healer and you're also intuitive. Why
And
are
Roberta, you're
you not
fine, by the way.
why are you not charging for your service? That's the question.
It's a gift from God, and how do you charge from that?
Oh,
It's
that's
a
the
gift from
biggest cop
Source.
out answer I've ever heard on God's green earth.
Not God, Source,
Excuse me.
intelligence.
I have to vomit now. Excuse me. Barry, really? You're gonna hit me with that.
Sure. Well, because
Please.
it's an inherent ability that I've been blessed with.
Well,
And
who knows about it? You know why it's important to charge money? I'll tell you why. Because absent investment from the other person, they're not going to receive shit. Most of the time, 95% of the time, people who are gifted a session with me, who are not invested in the process, they are my least favorite interactions because they barely show up. Oh, you're kind of like a circus act, I guess. Want to guess my weight? I mean, it's just like not fun. It's just not interesting because I'm interested in people who want to grow and change and really deepen. And that exchange, it's an exchange of energy. And the money is part of that. And you're allowed to have your needs met in this life. And if you have these talents, which everybody doesn't have the ability to do it at the level you can, you're allowed to have your life work for you. My rates are set based upon what makes my life work. Maybe I'll reduce my rates at some point or not charge at all, but right now my life requires it. I have 2 kids in school, okay? But right now my life requires it, and I make a deal with God. It's like, if you want me to do this work, then it needs to work for me too. It's not just a give, 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 give. It's like, let's exchange, and then that makes everybody happy. I'm not a martyr. And I'm not an enlightened master who's going to run around absorbing everybody's karma for them. I'm not that enlightened. So this conversation you're saying about it's a gift and I shouldn't charge is a complete cop out, and I'm not going to let you get away with it because it's really not the reason you're not doing it. And that's what you want to get real with yourself. Why am I not doing it? Because it'd be much better for people to plunk down a few dollars to have your service and you uplift their day and their life than not. It's worth it. It's worth it to them. It's worth it to you. It's worth it to the planet, because if everybody today leaves our group and they're a little bit better off, then everybody they interact with today is going to be a little bit better off. So maybe they paid some money to be here, or hard-earned money or whatever. Yeah. But they're going to be a little bit happier, a little bit more grounded. And the way they interact in the world, it spreads. It's worth it.
I also have in the back of my head, the thing is, who the fuck am I to think I can help anybody?
Well, there you go. And this is why we ask this question. And these are the things you need to deal around. Is that abundant thinking? Then it's like you're saying, God, you made a mistake. You made a misfit. You got it wrong. You may have built the entire universe, but you got it wrong with me. I mean, that's not abundant. So we have to get away from using the words that I'm abundant as spiritual speak, but actually embrace the concepts and bring it into our experience and live abundantly by practicing abundant thinking and go, oh, wait a second. just replacing have to with choose changes my whole day. I don't have to do a damn thing actually, but I'm going to choose to do this because of X, Y, or Z. And then it immediately puts you in an empowered position. And if you say my service is valuable, it's valuable to them and it's valuable to me, and I am allowed to have my needs met, that's a big thing.
I just wrote that down. I choose.
Good. So the devil's in the details for you, my friend. Hey, that's good news. At least you know where the devil is now.
I don't believe in the devil, but
Well, metaphorically speaking.
metaphorically, I know.
And just keep asking yourself your question. And, you know, we've got a coaching meeting, I think, next second week of August, and it's all about making money. You better be there.
Yeah, I'll see.
Oh, man, listen to that.
Well,
If you want to be recorded, but you want to make money, I'm going to tell you how. I know how. It's one thing I've known how to do my entire life. I've never been without money my whole life, ever. It just doesn't mean I've never made mistakes with it or had issues. It means I know how to do it. And that's why I like to teach other people, because it's doable. But you got to get around some of these things that play around in our head that keep it away.
Well, I want you to know I have some things in process that are working towards the physical goals of being able to do it rather than just over a phone or over this laptop. You know, I have another number and a website and that hasn't been finished. And so I do have, and I have a tablet that's going to be place where I do that from rather than my laptop.
Who cares?
Well, it doesn't matter. To me, it's part of a process of.
I mean, all these qualifications. This is why you and Roberta are on a parallel path. It's like your own thoughts are like slowing your process down. When I first started, all they had was phone. Get on the phone, put an ad in the psychic magazine, and that was it. And then you start taking phone calls. Hello? Anyhow. All right, Barry, I beat you up enough. There's a couple more people we want to get to so we can get to the Power of 8 piece.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to take
You
your
don't have
time.
to apologize. Don't apologize. We don't know. This is not an apology tour. We don't do that here. We just want to be where we are and have enough strength and courage to acknowledge where we are and then move in the direction we actually want to go. That's it. All right. Who wants to brave it? I know I really beat Barry up. You're like, oh my God, she was ruthless with him. But
I'll go.
hi, love.
Hi. Actually, with what everyone shared, I could really relate with it. And it feels like a common theme in a lot of ways, right? We're all so similar. But I came here because I'm in a very in a space of transition and wanting to change and grow. And so my thought was, I want to, practice forgiveness, receive forgiveness, and for myself, for others, just for situations. And I want to improve my relationship with the past and myself. But then when we did the meditation, it was like, oh my God, right? I mean, there was a point where I was like vibrating and like was going to cry. It was just very intense. And I realized, although I've thought this before, it really sunk in like throughout the whole meditation, but not in a negative way, but more of a positive way. But my heart's been so closed off. Like so much of me has been closed off because I've been so stuck in my mind and the past and all this crap that's, it is like a force, it just sucks me in, but having that moment where I felt really expanded, like it was beautiful. And I'm like, shit, Stacey, if you did this more, it would be a great thing. But I really like the guided part, right? Because sometimes when I meditate, I'm still all over the place, right? And I think it's cool to do like a group kind of meditation too. But it was really phenomenal. And so when I was thinking, what do I want? Because I haven't really known what I want. I just wanted to be different from how I was and disconnect from the past. Part of me wants to run away. But then I realized, so then I thought, relationship, love. And then I just kind of pictured myself feeling like strong and powerful and having an open heart in these difficult, I have a really challenging work experience, right? And people, have different feelings about me, and I've always wanted everyone to like me, but that's just not reality, right? And so like just sitting in that, but having a different, I don't know, just for that moment, I really had a different idea of like, if I open my heart more, I didn't feel like, I guess my fear is, opening my heart will make me subject to more pain, but it was kind of like opening my heart in a different way, opening my heart and turning off my mind. Right? It's like, it's the combination that really, it was really powerful. So, that's kind of my takeaway is like, okay, how can I open my heart and like get out of my own way, my own thinking, because the thinking is so powerful. But yeah, I think that's
I love this. I can really feel like there's new beginning energy all around you. And I love the way you're wanting to sort of clean up by the self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others, and also open your heart. That's such a great awareness. And that's probably some fear about that as well, because you're a tender person. And, it's hard to not only admit, but to come back out and say, all right, I'm gonna show my warrior self, and I'm gonna be open and be vulnerable. That's a big deal. So I have a lot of admiration for you with that. So I know where we're gonna go with you in Power of Eight, and it's great. You're so clear. You're so clear on where you're going. That's amazing.
Thanks.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're doing fantastic.
Thanks.
So is that correct? That's what we're going to work on in the Power of Eight piece?
Yeah, I think
Forgiveness
so.
and opening the heart. Yeah, that's great.
Opening my heart.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Sonia and Vicky, I think, is that everybody in the group today? Yeah. Are you guys going to Annie up today?
Sure. Why I'm here, well, since this one was about receiving, and you know me, Fuss, that's something I have a hard time doing. So that's why I decided to join today. And
Receiving, what it receive in general, or just receiving?
I think in general, although I have gotten a little bit better at that. I'm kind of like Roberta and overdo a lot. And with the meditation, I fell asleep through part of it, but part of it I was there. And when he talks about feeling and feeling how like you're already there, and I feel like I've done that a lot, but I'm still having a hard time having a relationship come to fruition. So
Ooh, that's so good. That is so good. Well, yeah, that's a biggie. And I would say that we want to spend a lot of time in superconscious imagining that it's already existed, because you've been working your relationship with yourself so intently, and there's been so many layers to it, and you have been such an overgiver. You've been in service to everyone else for so long that you haven't always even known when you haven't been putting yourself first. Putting others first felt like putting yourself first. And so I think that's been part of it. When we're not congruent with ourselves and our own needs and understand the order of things, then we end up attracting a lot of situations that are really trying to point us more towards ourselves. And so I think all the relationships you have been having have been trying to teach you something about yourself. And right now, I have to say, you're so much better than ever in terms of being able to sit in your center and say, this is my truth, this is who I am. But it's taken a long time, and it's pretty recent. It's pretty recent that you've been able to know really who I am and what I need versus what other people need from me and what I need to do to make them happy. So there's a little bit of that been going on. But I think you are in a really good place to receive what is good for you now, not just good for others. Does that make sense to you?
yeah.
Good. Well, I'm sort of just stating it because I want to be able to name it when we do the Power of Eight piece. And I know we're going to run over a little bit our 90 minutes today, guys, but if you're able to stay, you won't regret it because this Power of Eight piece is so potent. So Vicky, you're the last of, we saved the best for last.
And am I on? Can I speak?
Speak. Hello.
Okay. Mine's kind of different. The meditation was wonderful. Loved the expansion, but I felt such a sense of peace, like no worries in my head. It was just go with the flow. God's in charge. Give it up already. And the outcome is already here. So I love that. My two things are, and you're already aware, this one client that has not paid, both of us went to our attorney, his attorney had a meeting. He, instead of paying, he was talking about getting additional financing to go forward with 2 projects. Would we be interested in rebidding? And we said, no, give us some money up front. You still owe the past. Anyway, so in the meditation, I was asking, what piece of information do I not know? And what do I need to receive? What additional information? That's where I was going with that. And then another issue is I'm an HOA board president for many years, and there's a homeowner who took the HOA to court. It was dismissed. It wasn't valid for the judge. So now he is personally suing myself and another board member. I'm going, give it up already. What is this about? And how can what do I need to do? How can I have a greater
What's
understanding?
interesting about both these situations, and this is something I actually know about you anyhow,
Mhm.
you never ask for yourself.
No,
That's a thing.
ask
That
for myself.
you ask about your business, you ask about your children, you ask about your animals, you ask about your grandchildren, you
Yep.
ask about people who have deceased, you ask about your business. You never ask about yourself. That's not nothing. And so that's something we want to look at. But I will tell you with
Mhm.
regard to that client who he keeps trying to skirt payment, it's just one of these, but sometimes in business and in life, we lose. I'm not
Mhm.
saying you're going to lose in this circumstance. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's the natural course of life and
Mhm.
karmic situations. And in business, it's not a gamble, but it is. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, and sometimes they pay, sometimes they don't. This is the type of person you've got to hold his feet to the fire in every way. He won't pay until, you've got the guillotine at his neck and you're 5 seconds from dropping. And he's like, all right, I'll pay.
Mhm.
But that's just how he operates. He has the money and he's just not concerned about it because he knows he can pay and he just wants to pay when he wants to pay and not before anybody else wants him to pay. And it has to make complete sense for him. And maybe, oh my gosh, I'm going to need to take money from that account. And that means I need to go in person to the bank and I don't want to go, it's really just sort of a selfishness and a control game. And it's really like a lot of salespeople do is that they wear you down. Until where you're just like, all right, whatever, I'll take 50 cents on the dollar. Or, okay, I'll get the car. Just let me out of the dealership. Just let me go home with my car, let me out. Or something like that. So I think there's some of that going on. And you have nothing to fear from the HOA situation. That's going to go away. It's just an annoyance. But for you, it's about what do I, Vicky King, and we're not related, you guys. What do I need for myself, for my person, my woman, the person that I am, not the mother, not the business owner, not the grandmother, not the pet owner. What does Vicky need? Who am I? Aside from all these activities and all these relationships that I'm involved in, what do I need? Do I even know who I am outside of that?
Those are good questions. And when
Thank you.
ask those, thank you. What comes to mind is I stay so busy taking care of others and doing business and whatnot that it prevents me from asking those questions. And that has been coming to the forefront. So Yeah, I want to I want to heighten my ability to trust my intuition, and I want to be an empowered healer. And those are goals for Vicky. But who am I and what do I need? I don't know how to get there.
Well, a part of it is making space. When there's no space, the activity keeps you so busy that there is no
Mhm.
space. I mean, I'm grateful you're here. You're here pretty much every month. It's like
Mhm.
it's space for you, but I just thought it was very hilarious that you asked questions that didn't pertain to you, but I think that's the question you want to keep asking and making space. That is so important. And once a month isn't enough. I mean, it's really at least daily 20 minutes or weekly. If not, there's got to be some activity that's centered around activating elements of Vicky that have nothing to do with any of those other areas.
Yeah, if you could help me with that, I'd appreciate that.
Do I have to walk around with a paddle and spank you every time you're
Yeah.
busy? Okay. Well, if
Yeah.
you were in Las Vegas, I'm sure I would. I would hunt you down, but
I did do something that was taking care of me, and this is a horrible thing to say, but my mom finally, I moved her to another assisted living.
good.
She loves it. It's
Congratulations.
5 seconds from my house. And I was going over every night after work to kind of tuck her in, and this is week 2. And I worked all day. I had a oatmeal for breakfast, and it was like 7:30, still at the office. And I said, I gotta go. And I called her and I said, I need to stop and pick up a meal. And I'm sorry, but I will not be able to tuck you in tonight. I need to take care of me. And I had that vision of on the airplane, if you don't put your oxygen mask on you first, you can't take care of your kids beside you. And it's like, stop already, Vicky. You have to take care of you. Realize, you just can't go, 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 go. So yes, I stay busy taking care of others and forget me. So you're right on. You're
Well,
exactly right.
and I think many times we've danced around you doing the love class together with me or even by yourself.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
isn't even so much because attracting love is more about your relationship to yourself than anything else.
Thank
Not
you.
that there aren't some to-dos. And so it's something you're going to want to keep considering, something that's really about you as a woman and a person and moving in those directions. And I
Loving
think
me.
it has to be somewhat intentional for you because you're so incredible at business and you're so incredible how you work with your family and all of that. And I'm sure you get a lot of gratification from that, but it's not going to fill you up in the ways you're looking or would like to be filled. So, yeah.
I don't feel a lack, but you keep
Well, it's because
indicating
you're
that
so darn busy.
I don't stop to feel.
Yeah. But in the meantime, your own life doesn't get lift off in terms of your personal pieces. So anyhow, for me in this Power of 8, which we're going to move into, guys, momentarily, is really about you waking up to yourself and making yourself center stage in your life, not your business, not your relationships, unless it was a romantic partner who was pleasing you in all the ways we want to be pleased, right? And really indulging yourself, or chocolate cake or whatever it is, but we would like to see that. I would like, yeah, you've got a lot of life to live. So,
Thank you.
okay. All right, my friends. Thanks, Vicky. And thank you everyone for submitting to my scrutiny. But now we're going to jump into the Power of 8 process. And here's what it is. And we're going to expedite it a little bit in the interest of time. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go quickly into a meditative state. And we're going to go around the room. Well, we're going to connect as a group, heart to heart, essence to essence. And then we're going to name, like I'm going to talk about Barry's thing about his abundance piece. And all of us are going to focus our attention on Barry in a way, whether you pray, whether you send energy, whether you just think kind thoughts, for a couple of minutes, we're just going to send energy towards Barry for his abundance. For Stacy, she's in transition. And opening her heart, we're just going to, if we pray to God, if we use prayer, if we use energy healing, we're going to thank all the amazing things for Stacy. And then it's like with Roberta, we're going to wish for her recovery and her wellness, but also to dissipate the fear that controls her decision making. And then again, we pray, we send energy as a group, just a couple minutes each person. Sonia, relationships, putting self first, we're going to pray for that. And with Florence, abundance, job, lessening anxiety, trust. Just we're all of us together at one time. We're going to send that. And then that's the process. And then we'll take a minute or two for everybody to talk about their experience, and then we'll be done. So now I'm going to set myself off to the side a little bit here, get out of my ocean view. And I want everybody to close their eyes real quick. We should be able to go into a meditative state pretty quick. That center place. And I'm just going to play the sound bowls for just a second so we can get there more quickly, just for like 60 seconds. Let's use this one. All right, so now we're in our mind's eye, the center of our head. We all want to look into our heart, put our attention on our heart, even though we're behind our eyes, going behind the four chambers of the heart, all the way back into the essence of our being, where we notice our bright white light. The light, the flame of pure awareness. The light we see in our death experience. And this light is who we are. And we want to sit in that light for a moment. And then we want to think about everyone in our group, Barry, Florence, Roberta, Sonia, Stacy, and Vicky. And we want to notice the light in each of their hearts. We're not remembering their pictures from their Zoom photos or any of that. We're looking at the light in their heart. And we are connecting the light in each of our hearts to the light in each heart in this group. We're forming a circle. And we are connected through love and safety and truth. And we're just noticing as we do this, it is one large vibration and a circle of light. And what we're going to do now is put our attention on Barry, the light of Barry, that vibrating light, and Barry's desire for abundance, and Barry's desire to break free from his limited, restrictive patterns and thinking. So for about 60 seconds, we're going to pray, send healing energy, And any positive thoughts to Barry. On your mark, get set, go. Finish up by putting Barry in a nice bubble with all the prayers and well wishes that you have sent him contained in that bubble. And now we're going to move on to Florence, who is desiring the right and perfect job. At the same time, a reduction in anxiety and worry. So let's pray for Florence. If you're a prayer, pray. If you're a healer, send healing energy. If you just want to think kind thoughts towards Florence's situation, do so as Florence receives all of our energy. Go. Light to light. Essence to essence. Now put Florence in a bubble with all the prayers and light and love and well wishes so that she can contain that in her being and take that with her today. And let's move on to Roberta. Roberta is looking for physical healing as well as freedom from her own fears so that she can make forward momentum in her life, in her residence. So again, prayers, energy, loving thoughts, well wishes toward Roberta for her situation on all levels. Go. And now see Roberta in a bubble with all of this light that we have sent toward her contained so that she can take it with her and have it manifest in the week, this coming week, and then some. And now we're going to look at Sonia. the light of Sonia, who is desiring a relationship, and to crack the code on whatever is in the way of that self-love or that right and perfect person coming in to be in her life. Go. Prayers, well wishes, loving thoughts, energy. Now let's see Sonia in a bubble containing all the loving thoughts and energy we've sent to her so that she can carry that with her today and throughout the week. And we'll turn our attention to Stacy, who is in transition, new beginnings, and very much desiring self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others, and to open her heart to new possibilities on all the courage that that requires. So let's send her prayers, well wishes, energy, loving thoughts for those outcomes to be realized. Light to light, go. Let's put Stacy in a bubble with all of the prayers and well wishes and loving thoughts so she can carry that with her today and in the coming week. And let's move on last but not least, our lovely Vicky, where Vicky would like some resolution around business matter and home matter, but also with waking up to her own needs as a person, as a woman, exclusive of relationships and activities, space for her to emerge selfish. We want to see her getting selfish in the best way. Go. All right, let's put Vicky in a bubble with all the prayers and well wishes and energy we sent to her so that she can carry it with her today and throughout the week. And this is essentially the process with the power of 8 that is really remarkable. If anybody would like to make one quick final comment, you may, or you don't have to, but it's been an amazing day. It's been an
What
amazing
about
day.
you, Phyllis?
I'm good. Bless your heart.
I guess I just want to say that was like, it felt really intimate, and it, we didn't talk or anything, but it just felt like very connecting with each other.
Yeah,
Really sweet.
connection. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
I got lighter.
Wonderful.
I saw Roberta moving, right?
Oh,
You had some sort of pine trees. I don't know. I saw you coming down few steps of stairs and you holding and you were like this. Like someone would go into a camping situation and it's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. With Barry, my feet got so like I couldn't move. That's your pattern.
interesting.
With me, right here, I felt the energy.
The steel trap.
Yeah. And Vicky, I used to be you many years ago. All my questions were for everybody else under the sun, but not me, until I asked the question and I got the answer. I wasn't expecting it. And that triggered a chain of events that, wow, okay, where do I go from here? Everybody else just connected you with the light. And thank you, Phyllis. And thank you all for being here. And amazing. Yeah.
Is that it? Anybody else want to comment? Are you good?
I'll comment. For me, at first, I was in my head trying to figure out if I was just to be still and receive, or if I was also to be sharing or giving love to myself. And then in the end, I said I can do both. And then that expansion of our left and right and head, all of a sudden, I just started filling up the space in the room and just felt so loved. So
Good.
thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Good.
One thing, the relationship
Oh, Sonia. Yeah.
and with a partner around, I don't know, some gathering, it's more towards late fall.
Oh,
It doesn't mean you aren't gonna find it, but that's where I felt
wow. I like it.
psychic.
There you go, Sonia.
Okay.
Just want to say thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, of course.
Thank Hi.
I love you guys. Thanks for being here today. It
Thank
was
you,
a
Phyllis.
great session.
Yes, it was.
Love
Have
you,
a wonderful
Phyllis.
weekend and be interested to see if anything comes forward. That's one of the things about the power of 8, that process, is things can happen throughout the coming week that you don't even consciously expect. So enjoy. We shall
Thank you.
see.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Phyllis.